The question Fran raised there is, what is the mission of business? He says the answer is not what we've been taught to believe.
Let's bring him in now to talk about some myths in business that people really need to question. Of course, our guest, the 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback, the founder of GoSmallBiz.com, Fran Tarkenton. Good to have you here on America's Forum.
Good to be with you. You know, I read the book, and some of you might have, Norman Vincent Peale, years ago, The Power of Positive Thinking. And everybody said, well, if I'm positive in the morning, everything is going to be okay. It's all about attitude, all about positivity. Garbage. If I talk to people, they tell me, oh, I said, how you doing? Oh, that's great. Everything's great and wonderful. I said, what's wonderful? They can't tell me that. Well, positivity comes from looking at all the details, making sure you take care of every little detail. We watched football yesterday, and we watched in the Green Bay Packer game that the guy that goes up on the onside kick, the tight end, who had the ball and dropped the ball and fumbled the ball, Seattle covered. If he catches the ball, the game is over. But he did the wrong thing. He didn't do his assignment. He was supposed to block the Seattle Seahawk, and the other wide receiver, Jordy Nelson, was supposed to catch the ball. He made an error. It's attention to detail. If you're going to have positive and good attitude, you're the one who's going to be a sense of desperation every day. You got to look at every little detail. You got to make sure you see the problems before they get there.
And that is that is the number one myth you shatter in the column that we just saw, Fran. But I got it just for a second. I want to go through all three of those things, but you used the football example. And there's a controversy from the AFC in the situation that developed there because we talk about inflation in the economy, but it's deflation. The National Football League looking into the apparent use of overly deflated footballs by the Pats in their win yesterday. What's your take on that? And by the way, as an NFL quarterback, what advantage is there to having a smaller ball in I guess in a rainy game?
I played 18 years in the National Football League, 4 years in college and 4 years in high school football. I probably have thrown more passes in practice and games than any human being that ever lived. A deflated football doesn't help you. What we have back in my day and in today's day, when they bring the footballs in that they're going to use on the game day, they're very slick, they're very hard, and they are allowed to use some kind of resin to brush off the slickness and make the balls more grippable for the quarterbacks, and they do that. Now, if you deflated a tiny bit, I've never known that to be of any advantage at all. If you deflated too much, you wouldn't have the velocity on the ball or the spin on the ball. I think it's a lot to do about nothing. Now, if they're going to weigh the balls and see that one ball was 1 ounce or centimeter less air than the other ball, that doesn't make it easier to throw or harder to throw. I think it's about Belichick. They're always trying to pick on Belichick. He's done some things that were wrong before. He had Spygate when he was videoing the opponents giving their sign language to the quarterback and picking up on that. That was illegal. He did that. He had some controversy a couple of weeks ago when he did something legal when he put a running back in the slot, covered him up and made him an ineligible receiver, and but the defense didn't know that, so they covered the guy. That was perfectly legal. So he's always bending the rule book, and that's what coaches do. But I think it's a lot about nothing, because if they'd had the balls totally flat or what, New England was going to win this game because they just played a whole lot better than Indianapolis did.
Mindful of that, I guess we could say, Fran, in keeping with the article you wrote, we could say it is the myth of Belichick and the Patriots looking for an illegal advantage yesterday. But let's get back. Let's get back to your article. We've got 3 minutes. You talked about dashing the whole power of positive thinking. Sometimes things are not positive. You have to rebound from that. What's number 2 amongst the myths we should watch out for?
Well, the other thing is that the most creative, intelligent, smartest people always win. That may be true, but here's the myth. I don't think nobody has an original thought. I've never had an original thought. We learn from what we read, what we see, what we hear. And that's where we learn from. I'll guarantee you, Belichick as a coach, he goes out and visits other coaches he and Urban Meyer are big buddies, and he goes out and visits college coaches, and they interact and give ideas back and forth to each other. They watch other people's films. They learn from we all learn from other people, and that's what's really important. But we need to learn from the people that are doing what we're doing. Football people need to learn from football people. Brain surgeons need to learn from brain surgeons. But we go back to the thing, we have to understand we don't have an original thought. So we've got to go out and get smarter. We get smarter by listening and hearing and reading what other people are saying.
And that's what we're doing this morning. We're listening and we're hearing you right now. So you mentioned optimism, overrated. You don't have to be as original as you once thought you had to be in order to be successful. But of course, we want to bring it back to the first thing that you talked about. And you said about the mission in business. You said the mission shouldn't be to make a huge profit. And you probably have people baffled on this Monday morning. Why is that?
Well, I think the mission of business is to help people. And if your mission is to help people, you're transparent, you tell people the truth, you build relationships, and people want to interact with you and want to do business with you. And that's a sustainable mission. That will bring you customers and bring customers back to you because they can trust you. If your mission is to make money, to be mega wealthy, to make billions of dollars, you will compromise your principles. And all we have to do is look at Wall Street and look the gold standard of Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, and look at how dirty they've been. And they've, with insider trading from people sitting on their board and all the hedge fund people, the private equity firm, and the edge that they're trying to get in the marketplace every day. How do people become billionaires in the marketplace? They become billionaires in the marketplace because most of them cheat. And that's not a sustainable mission. Many get away with it for a long time, but others, such as Bernie Madoff, finally got caught. Hopefully all of them will get caught. Well,
mindful of that, Fran, 20 seconds remain. Profit is not a dirty word, but the pursuit of profit, when you go at it in an illegal, criminal fashion, then it is wrong-headed.
If you lie to people, if you sell them a piece of junk, if you overhype something and you don't care about what you're doing for them, it will fail. It's to help people, to bring value and transparency and truth to people. That's a sustainable mission.
Hey, Fran, we appreciate it. Find out more about our guest at frantarkenton.com. And America's Forum continues right after this timeout.